All right, guys, it's market of the moment time. And this is a really special one because it is the end of 2021 data. So it's going to give us a whole snapshot of how the entire market did in 2021. So if you never joined the market of the moment, just a little quick, we're going to go over the previous month. Actually, the larger dive is going to be into the actual year itself. And then we're going to break it down into some MLS areas that you guys are strategically target marketing or primarily selling. Why do we need to do this, right? We want to be that local economist of choice. We want to be able to be comfortable talking about the local market. And we also want to be focusing on where the puck is going. 2022, we're already seeing just in a few days some transitions and shifts and changes in the market, which is going to change the conversation that we have with buyers and sellers, right? So overall, we're going to look at these are the primary MLS numbers we're going to look at. All right. So I logged into MLS and I am in the market stats tab, which is this icon here. And this is what pops up. So a few modifications that I use to just kind of simplify or to show some different data. I start with resale and then I can compare resale from new construction. You'll notice that it is defaulted for the previous month. I personally like to do a bar graph, kind of looking side by side there. We're going to do year over year. So we're going to do 2 years. And right now we're going to do the last 12 months. So this is going to tell us the entire 2021 market as well as the 2020 market. So then you'll just look at the tabs. We're going to walk through those just to give us a snapshot. And what I'd love to do is take notes on this, screenshot this, use these for presentations and the listing and buyer consultations. Also create graphics using Canva on social media. We need to scream our story, scream our local economy. We definitely vary depending on Northern Virginia, the national market. So you are the local expert of choice, right? So all right, so the average sales price overall, the entire MLS in resale world as of 2021 was 346,229. That's up 12% from last year, which is 308. So great conversation piece is, hey, I know you bought in 2020, but did you know that your house increased in 12% in equity and appreciation, right? And you can even dig in here and go even specific to either the MLS zip code or MLS area number to even be more specific for general information. That's a huge increase. So remember, the average market or a normal market is about 3 to 6% appreciation. So we're definitely having some spiked prices based on supply and demand, right? All right, so this is just to kind of give you an indication of how many transactions we had pending. So that's pretty much on par for what the market was. Let me actually go back to just the month of December because we know this business is 60 to 90 days, right? So all of these pendings, we had 1,139 pendings in December, and those are going to close either in January or just the first part of February, right? So wanted you to kind of look at that. We're actually slightly down compared to last year. And remember, or previous years, remember 2020, we were in the thick of the pandemic. Obviously, we're still in that at a certain level, but we've kind of learned to adapt to it. So what does that mean that we're having less pendings in December? There's the market will tell us in the future, but that's just something I want you guys to be aware of. Closed sales. So this is the total volume. Total units closed for the entire MLS. Again, this is resale only. We had 21,800 close in the entire MLS year to date. I'm sorry, let me do, that's not right. Yeah, that is right. Last 12 months. So January to December of 2021. 21,800. We had just under 20, we had 20,233. So that's a 7% increase. So you see units are not trailing 100% the same, right? Because sales, I'm sorry. Yeah. So new listings, we were on closed sales, sorry guys. So we were on unit wise, we're at 21 to 7%. But what the one thing I was going to show you, sorry, I was getting ahead of myself, is dollar volume. So we sold 21,800 houses in 2021 with a volume of $7 billion, right? Which is up 20%. So you can tell by that sales price ticking up 12%. That's obviously caused us to kind of uptick on the volume itself. And then physical closed units are up 7%. So had a great year. All of you guys did have a great year. You contributed to these numbers, but that's something to just look at. All right, and then days on market were crazy, right? So we were down 25%. The average days last year was, 2021 was 6 days. The year before that was 8 days. So just kind of looking at that, that was the median. Actually, this is the average. This is one I want you to kind of go after. So the average days on market was 15. The average market the previous year in 2020 was 28. I don't know if you saw that. There's a difference between a median and an average. I like the average just because it takes the highs and lows, but it's just something for you to obviously have knowledge of both, right? Also showings depending, the average on that, I thought that was interesting. That's just showing there's a lot more showings on the market, right? So there was 16 showings that led then to a pending versus 13 before. It's just showing overall that the market has not slowed down in 2020 and in 2021. And looks like there's no indication based on that the market is going to change. New listings. 2021, we had 23,356 listings. The previous year, we had 22,000, again, up 3%. So again, we're talking pretty much all last year, we're having the conversation, are we having an inventory shortage? The answer is no. What we're having is a demand conversation. We're having a demand shortage, right? So, or demand influx, right? So we have good inventory. We actually have 23, almost 23, over 23,000 houses to offer our clients, right? Versus opposed to about 22,000 the previous years. We have more inventory, but yet those buyers are really chomping at the bit to buy those homes, which obviously is a trickle-down effect to close sales, because 21,800 of them ended up buying a house, right? So all of that's connected there. Some variables in those numbers is off-market deals, for sale by owners, expireds, things like that. They still put them in MLS, but they're not necessarily listed as a traditional listing. All right. And so I wanted to just do a brief recap on new construction. So this is resale numbers, but let's just look at kind of toggle back and forth from resale versus new. Again, the average sales price in 2021 for new construction is $413. Versus the average was $346. So not a shock, but it's a good conversation piece to have with buyers. Is new construction is more expensive, just like a new car is more expensive than a resale. So look at that. We did see it climb up. The months prior, we saw new construction, the prices weren't kind of escalating as fast as the regular market. They ended up being 8.9% increase. So you could buy the same house for $380,000 new construction in 2020. Now the same exact house is $413,000. So that's a pretty significant number. I mean, that's 20 grand, right? So that's a lot. 30 grand. That's a lot of money difference when it comes to buying new construction. All right. And then closed sales, we had just under, we had a little over 3,500 homes sell in new construction world, but the previous year was 3,377. And remind you that not all builders put their products in MLS. So there's probably a lot of private sales through custom builds, just sections that weren't added to MLS because there's no requirement for them to do so. So that on the MLS side with new construction isn't 100% accurate, but it still does paint the picture that we're still increasing in our units. We're increasing in sales price, right? From 380 to 413. And then the dollar volume, of course, naturally will climb up. That's 1.4 billion, up 14%. So those are just general indications of how 2021 stacked up against 2020, which, to be honest with you, that's pretty indicative of what we're seeing overall. So overall volume increased about 20% overall in resale world. And then closed sales was up 7%. So you're definitely seeing, we're holding steady, only, what is that? Another 300 or 400 houses sold unit wise, but the dollar volume has just skyrocketed based on that average sales price of 346. So word has got out that Richmond is an affordable place to live. We have seen, and I've read many articles just about telecommuting, and with COVID challenges, we're definitely seeing more people moving into the Richmond market that work honestly in various parts of the United States, different countries, Northern Virginia. So we have a very attractive marketplace, top performing economics for jobs. School systems are really strong. Obviously, economic stability in retail and things like that. So we should be shouting to the rooftop that RVA is the place to live and to buy and sell real estate, right? So those are just some indications of that. So the next thing we want to do is we're do a real quick dive into some MLS IDs, just because we want you to be familiar with that. So right now we went through the entire MLS, and then we're going to go into some MLS area numbers. And we're just going to look at the average sales price, some closed, and some dollar volumes, just to see if across the river is a different vibe, if different parts of Chesterfield are a little bit different. What's going on in Richmond City? So again, this is comparing year over year, the total year from January to December of 2021, as well as comparing the same data to the previous year of 2020 in the kind of the heart of the pandemic, right? So we're just going to right off the top, let's look at area 10. Area 10 and area 20 kind of in the Richmond City market. 380 is the average sales price there. Closed units is up 14% in the city, and dollar volume is up 26. Pretty indicative to the overall MLS as a whole, but you're definitely seeing that change. Another little indication of some modification is what's the average price per square foot. I don't really coach to recommending you to give price per square foot knowledge to your clients, but it is a good perspective of comparing different areas. The reason why I don't enjoy price per square foot is there's a major difference between comparing like a two-story, a ranch, or a tri-level. Price per square foot varies so much. Because obviously that space is split up in different quadrants, but it's just a good indication at least to see what overall value is. So if you look at area 10 is $230 a square foot. If I toggle to the other Richmond market, which is area 20, it's 292. So what was I looking at? Area 10 was 230. Area 20 is 292. So mathematically, area 20 is a little bit more expensive, but we know those pockets and we know the reason why, right? Dollar volume is up 4% in area 20 versus area 10 is up 26%. So you're seeing that dollar volume go up dramatically, right? Closed sales up 14% in area 10 compared to area 20 is only up. We basically sold the same amount, up 7%, like 3 houses more. So you can definitely see area 20 doesn't have as much, really much fluctuation in the units, but area 10 had a significant, almost 150 more homes sold, right? New listings is another good indication of this area market. Area 10 had 1,344 houses on the market. And then we bumped down to 449, right? So those are just some things that when you're pricing things in area 20 and area 10, make sure you're comparing apples to apples, since we do see agents stepping outside or doing very general CMAs, and that unfortunately is affecting it. So again, area 2020, higher price points, obviously the bigger the houses and all that sector of the market. 626 is the average sales price in area 20. Obviously we jumped down to 380 as the average sales price in Richmond, but I must say Richmond 10 has come a long way. We're originally at 345 the previous year, 380 mean, that's a big jump, over 10% increase in one area number in a year. Again, the average is about 3 to 6% is what we see, quote, a normal market. So good opportunity for investments to buy and sell property in Richmond market. All right, let's go into some Henrico numbers, and then we'll go across the river and we'll finish up. So Henrico overall, the average on 22 is 426,000. Closed units was 1,600. Not that much change from the previous year. Go looking from 2021 to 2020, but dollar volume obviously up dramatically. So you're just seeing again this huge push, especially in area 22. The price points have gone up. Price per square foot, $195 a square foot, to give you perspective on that. So average sales price, that should be screaming to area 22 if you farm or geofarm that area. 385, the same house last year, versus 426, the same house that you could buy in 2021, right? All right, let's go into what else do we just want to go into? Let's go into Henrico area 40, and then we'll do 42. So average right now is in Henrico, average sales price in area 40 is 272, up 11%. Closed units up 21%. And then dollar volume up 35%. Look at that huge jump based on that. So area 40 is rocking and rolling there. And then we'll go into 42 real quick. Sales price is 215. Again, we're kind of comparing apples and apples here. If we were in 42, the house is worth 215. If we're in area 40, it's 271, right? So if you're looking at affordability, obviously 42 versus 40 as far as area number, right? Because we're in, this is area 42 at 215. And area 40 is at 271, right? So 42 is definitely going to give you a little bit of more, quote, affordable housing. If your clients are looking at area numbers specifically, you might want to coach them to look at area numbers that are a little different. Closed sales up 9% from the previous year in area 42. Complete total volumes up 26%, which we're seeing a huge indication of that. A little spot check on days on market. Again, the average days on market is 11 days in area 42 versus 19 in the heat of the pandemic in 2020. So definitely kind of looking through those, you see some variations in the market. That's why it's super important to break those down and to really kind of digest those numbers every month, right? That's why we do the market of the moment. All right, so let's go to Chesterfield. Let's do 52, 54, and we'll kind of wrap up. So 52, the average sales price in Chesterfield area 52 is 288. That's up obviously from 13% from the previous year. I like to kind of do a little bit of a comparison there. So 282 versus 333. Again, we're in resale only, right? So 54 average sales price is significant difference there. So still back in area 52, closed units, it's up 10% from the previous year. And then dollar volume is up 25%. So you see those trends are pretty consistent overall. Price per square foot, area 52, 152. And then if I'm going into one area of 54, it's 160, so it's gone up. So that price per square foot there. I want to just real quick move over to new construction in this world, because there is a lot more new construction in Chesterfield. You see sales price up 8% in area 54 for new construction. You also see closed sale up 3.7. Again, not all of the markets represented in MLS, but does give you an indication. And then volume is up 12%, and price per square foot is up. They've increased it by 11%. So that was area 54. Let me run back to area 52 and get those same numbers for new construction. So new construction average was 18% increase. That's a huge difference seeing that jump is pretty insane. So you missed the boat in 2020. You said buy the same house in area 52 for 318. You're now paying $375,000 more for the same house, right? And then closed units overall in that area 52 is up and running, up 15% average there. All right, so that gives us the market of the moment as far as the overall snapshot of MLS data for new construction and resale, comparing it from 2021 to 2020. As far as the MLS IDs as well, we kind of took a deeper dive. Last thing we want to do is just look at market share. Again, not to be the comparison game, but we want to have a market overview of who is representing buyers and sellers, what brokerages, what agents are representing them. Number one, to just, be in cooperation with them through our co-op deals, but also to just see how they stacked up based on that. So previous month, we're going to go to rolling 12 months, December to December, right? And overall volume. So this gives us a representation of that. So volume in the last 12 months, number one, 690 units. And you can see this broken down. It's 670 units on the listing side or 20 units on the buy side. So obviously you can see the difference there. 289 on the list side, 247 on the buy side. That's Kyle Yateman. So you can see some teams running up on the front. Mark Highfield has always been in the top 10. He's number 16, end of the year at number 16. You can see just some different other names. Tommy's on there. Chris Small is on there, number 25 overall. Brad Ruckert is on there. The other, looking at just names, Matt Cullither is on there. Ryan Stanford's top 50. Heather Ballantyne's 53. Tina McCabe is 52 at 24 million. Is that right? No, that's Eric. So just under 24. Tina McCabe's at 23.9. So you just see some names that you're familiar with, or names there. Lindsay Jones, 22 million overall there. So that just gives you an agent snapshot, and then I'm just going to do an office report as well to give you the top production for that. And so Wallen Foster is the highest volume in our market at 866 million. EXP is 848. I've talked about that for a while there. That market share has changed dramatically over the course of time. Percentage of market share, what does that mean, right? So market share is how many out of all the sales, what percentage of those for sale signs are in the marketplace, right? So just coming from a recruiting or a sales background in real estate over the last 10 years, like there's always this overall growth goal that I hear a lot in different markets. About 10% market share would give you a solid foundation of predictable income. It would give you a strong reputation in the community. So you can see there's huge differences in some of the market share. Market share is achieved by two ways. It's number of people producing, or it's the volume in which you sell, right? So if you sell more houses, you're going to increase your market share, or you recruit and attract more physical people that sell, which is more of a growth model, then you're going to pull market share that way. So it's not surprising to see Long & Foster has been in Richmond for years to have a strongest market share. And it's also not surprising to see EXP because they have a strong recruiting platform that they prefer to model that they go after, and that's 4.7. What other things? Shaheen is fairly new into the market. They split off a few years back. They have 3.98% of the market share. That's strong based on the age of them. Non-MLS, that's, again, those are those FSBOs, expired, those people kind of buying and selling that in our market. That's not uncommon. We're doing whatever we have to do to take up some market, to get some market share volume for our clients, right? Keller Williams Realty, this is actually the office in Richmond West. That's 2.9. So if you take out the non-MLS office, because that's technically obviously not a brokerage, Long and Foster, EXP, Shaheen's number 3, top 5 is Keller Williams West. 6 is United Real Estate. There's another Long and Foster office, Joyner, Hometown, and then another Long and Foster. Keller Williams Midlothian, that is number 11. And actually, if I change that to firm, let me change that. Firm actually lumps all of those Long and Fosters together. So it gives you a little bit more of a true saturation. So apologize if firm is actually better than the office, because the firm represents the entire brand. So Long and Foster has 14% of the market share. Again, 10% is a very healthy competitive number in the world of brokerages. Hometown Realty has got 6% of market share. Number 2, EXP is right on their tail at number 3. Joyner, Shaheen, again, still very new, almost 4% of the market share is great. Number 6, 7-ish, because non-MLS is on there. So the next in line would be Keller Williams West. That's just under 3%. United Real Estate. Remax Commonwealth, that's on the Remax Commonwealth is on the West End side. So there's a couple Remaxes in the marketplace. Napier ERA is top 10. And then you see Steel Group, you see Midlothian dropped to number 10. They've been in the top 10. That's dropped a little bit. Hogan Group is fairly new. Virginia Capital is popping up there. Interesting to see. One South Realty is in the top 15. Lismore Associates number 19, and so on and so forth. You'll kind of see some other ones. Keaton is number 26, things like that. So if you look at, and then if you look at volume, again, a huge representation of Long and Foster, but they have multiple offices. I mean, 6,800 of the sold units just come from Long and Foster, 3,402 from Hometown, multiple locations, 3,000 units from EXP, 1,000. Keller Williams Richmond West did 1,490 units. That's a lot. That's a great job there. United wasn't far behind them. Remax, Keller Williams Midlothian did 762. You'll obviously see the top units there, and then you see a drop. That's very common to kind of see different people in marketplaces do that. You also see the ones that are kind of all in that same average. So, One South, Berkshire Hathaway, Fathom, ERA, Lismore, kind of did that 600-ish range. And then again, you see another kind of change there. This is H.H. Hunt. Obviously, this is new construction. Kind of connecting in and out. Even Coach House is in there with just under 450 units. And it kind of works its way down. River Fox, Keaton, 460. All those individual Valentine properties, 240. But not too shabby, not 91 million. So just giving you also Newman and Dunn, Icon Realty, Icon that sold 274 units, overall 82 million in volume there. So I think I remember having a conversation with Icon. They held steady to that number. Newman and Dunn, 224 in the top 40. That's great. Jenny and Company, 126, just under 50 million. So just kind of see some of the names that all of us see out and about in the marketplace. Hardesty Homes, 113. So again, the reason why we want to just overall go through the MLS IDs, MLS market shares, is because we want to just be strategic. We want to talk about how can we be more of that local expert. And again, if you want to look these numbers up and do a deeper dive specifically, I got to wait till about 4th, 5th day in the next month to kind of roll over. But just go into market stats. I highly recommend updating that to a pie chart. I'm sorry, not a pie chart, a column chart. And and then like a bar chart, and then, separating new construction from resale as you're analyzing data. So hope that brings value to you guys. We'll be doing this every month, just like we did last year, just to give you an update on how the market is going. And cheers to an amazing 2022. We've already seen amazing results, and we're just getting started. So continue those activities, continue to serve your clients, and the rest will be history. All right. Well, have a great day, everybody. Thanks so much.